What I would like to talk this morning is a little bit about what Ipsos has been doing on concept testing and completely reinventing it for the mobile world. I work for Ipsos Marketing. Ipsos Marketing is the division of Ipsos that looks after qualitative research, healthcare research, innovation, market understanding, product testing and shopper. It's a vast part of the business. It's around half of our business, about 750 million euros a year. And so this fella is really, really important to us. We have been using mobile for many years. Probably many of you don't realize that. We have been using it because hard-to-reach markets are incredibly important to our clients. Last year, we did 14 million interviews on mobile in Africa, for instance. It's one of the only ways that we're able to get in front of people, collect data, and get it back in a timely manner. If you think about the distances in Africa, transporting questionnaires around, paper questionnaires, is very, very tough. So mobile data collection, incredibly important to us. Now, recently in the UK, this is very latest data about people joining our panel. Over 50% of people joining our panel in the UK are doing so by mobile. But when we ask them actually to switch from a non-mobile enabled survey to one that's to their laptop or their PC, virtually nobody does it. And it's an incredible waste of money. It costs our clients a lot of money because, let's be honest, that's where the cost is going to go. And it really bores the panel, and it leads to wastage in sample as well. So we've needed to do something. And in the bit I look after, we have a challenge. We want to emulate BBC iPlayer. For those of you not familiar with this, this is the BBC's catch-up service. They announced recently that over 1,000 different devices have accessed iPlayer. And that's where we're looking to head towards with our research, and in particular with concept testing as well. We want people to have the freedom to respond how they want to, not how we dictate to them to respond. So, device agnostic is our goal, and it has to work absolutely everywhere. So what have we been doing? Well, first of all, there's one piece of enabling technology that's been developed in-house at Ipsos, which we call the Engage platform. It automatically senses what consumers are using to respond to our surveys, and automatically, on the fly, pumps the right survey out to them, whether it's a mobile-enabled survey that may have all the functionality that you have with mobiles, so including highly graphical questionnaires, incorporating touch, geofencing, geolocation, etc., or if you're using a tablet, it will pump out a different sized survey. If you're using a laptop or PC, a different survey as well. So that's been great news. That was launched late last year. I don't know whether the polling guys are using that, given the complexities they have, but Ipsos Marketing is using that across the globe already. It's a fantastic new platform. But concept tests, how many people here have ever taken part in a concept test or run a concept test? Okay, concept tests have been going on for around about 45 years. Ipsos has got a vast database all over the globe of category norms, consumer norms, all sorts of data. And moving to a device-agnostic world gives us huge problems. How do we protect that database? That database is extremely valuable. It's got hundreds of thousands of responses in it. It's incredibly important to our clients to help them predict how their products are going to perform in market when they're launched. How do we protect that? Well, we went out and did some R&D. I'm going to reveal what happened in this R&D in a second. We did research in multiple countries, looking at multiple different types of categories, so things like chocolate, household products, boring products, products that you would buy on impulse versus planned, products that you purchase very often, like potato chips, those you purchase maybe twice a year, like air fresheners. So we really covered all the different types of purchasing occasion and purchase frequencies that are out there in the markets, and looked at developed and non-developed worlds. We did around 100 cells. We looked at a community as well to help us with the R&D. So we also had some challenges. We wanted to reinvent the questionnaire. If I'm really honest, the guys this morning from Instantly were showing how we've taken paper questionnaires and just replicated them online. We need to move away from that. We wanted to completely reinvent the questionnaire. We wanted to make it more engaging. We don't want to annoy panelists. They're our lifeblood of the industry. We also wanted to engage those people who normally don't take part in surveys. And we wanted to deliver a bit more insight for our clients, and we wanted it really, really quick. So, the other thing is, of course, it had to work on any device. We wanted to use the functionality of the Engage platform and give consumers the freedom to respond how they want to. So let me just very, very briefly, without revealing any IP, tell you what we discovered. First of all, we had to reinvent the concept. Now, those of you who've done concept tests will have known for the last 30 to 40 years it hasn't changed much. Maybe we've put a color image on the side, but the basic layout and format's always been identical. It started off with P&G, probably in the late 60s, early 70s, with a concept board, a physical board, and it's emulated over the years to have a picture and some wording in a predefined layout. Well, moving to the mobile world, where people may have only a 3.5-inch, 4-inch, 4.5-inch screen, we didn't want people to be zooming in and out of concepts. It's completely unnatural, and consumers in our research did not like it. We presented concepts in 5 different formats. We took an Amazon-type format where people could keep drilling down for more information. We used banner ads. We used all sorts of approaches to test what would be the best way of representing that information to consumers. And we ended up with the swipe concept. This is a bad graphical representation of it, but basically we take your concept and we reformat it to 4 or 5 swipe screens where respondents at their own time, own pace, can swipe left or right through the concept to read the information. Okay. What was the finding? Well, one of the surprising and I suppose at some stage worrying pieces of information was that people spent 62% more time reading the concept than they would from the traditional way of looking at concepts. That was a huge... Sorry? Compared to the current concept that we're presenting to consumers through our traditional ways. Yeah. So that's very worrying. Think about the amount of money that our clients spend on developing these concepts. We want people to read them and understand them. So it's great news we found it more engaging, a little bit worrying that people weren't reading the old concepts as carefully as we hoped. We've also found that the survey was more enjoyable. We did a follow-up survey with people who told us it was significantly more enjoyable. And we had low dropout rates, very low dropout rates across all of those 100 cells, and hard to reach targets such as young men, which I think was raised earlier. We found very low dropout rates from those guys as well. They really took part in our surveys and told us they enjoyed it. So we think we've found something very, very cool. We've built in more insight. Fantastic. Don't need to know too much about this, but we've been able to take advantage of all the functionality of smartphones to actually build more insight for our clients. And we've made it 60% shorter. One thing I didn't reveal to you is that a standard concept test at Ipsos for 1 cell is around about 20 minutes. We've made it 8 minutes with more insight and being forecast ready. And we've made it work on any device you want. There's no quotas. People can respond on whatever they want to within each cell. It does not matter. Now, we had a soft launch earlier this year. Sorry about the poor quality of graphics there. We had a soft launch earlier this year in the US, Germany, France, and the UK. And now we are ready with all the language conversions across the globe. And this will be our standard concept testing approach from the 1st of October, globally. Okay, so that's easy, isn't it? Oh, hang on. Well, let me just talk 1 second a bit about the database, because we don't want to throw away 40 years' worth of history. The database is probably one of the most valuable things that we have at Ipsos. So what are we doing to keep that database live and relevant for our clients and still enable us to do all the forecasting that we do to help our clients launch their products with confidence? Well, one of the things that we were incredibly surprised about but very happy about was the way that Ipsos tests concepts is we always test your new innovation against something that consumers are buying today or using today to satisfy the need that that new innovation will deliver. And we take the results of those two and develop an index score. And our database is actually a list of index scores. And what we found with by using device agnostic was that actually across all of those categories, all of the devices, the changes in scales, those indices held. Now, we may have people using different points in the scale, but they use different points in the scale both for their most often purchased product and the new concept. And so those indices have held. And that has been fantastic finding for us, but brilliant for our clients because it means we can completely switch to being device agnostic. Now, one thing I didn't reveal is the standard concept test at Ipsos takes 6 weeks. Oh my God, what could you do in 6 weeks? We are now moving to 10 days for a fully forecast-ready study. So you bring us on a Monday, 2 weeks' time, we'll be in your offices presenting with a forecast. Next year, that moves to 5 days globally. Wherever you want this done, it will be 5 days. The same technology is already built into our overnight process. We recently did a 3-country, 15-concept test for a major CPG client who gave us the concepts at 4 p.m. and we were in the office the next morning delivering the results in a personal presentation with insight at 9 a.m. This is the technology that's enabling us to do that. This was that same client. Very nice comments from us. You can read those yourselves. Clients are finding this very exciting. This is a bit of a game changer for Ipsos. It is actually engaging clients and thinking about the concept testing approach we use in a much more positive way. So, let me just finish up so you can get to your chicken pies. More insight, completely device agnostic with no quotas on the device that respondents use to respond to the survey. It's much more engaging, it's shorter, I think it's future-proofed, and I'd love for you all to have a go at that at some stage, so give me a shout if you'd like to have a personal demonstration. Thank you very much indeed.